check out these fucking new machine hats, bro. It's fucking badass. Available on tigerfitness.com and soon a retailer of choice like muscleandstrength.com and gayforpay.com. Anyway, don't go to that site. I was just fucking around. I know y'all are going to go to that fucking site. Speaking of gayforpay.com, here's its founder, Sean Torbati.
Gay for Pay checking in.
Checking in. Dude, check it out, man. So, I'm in the Midwest, and I also spent 26 years of my life. For those of y'all going to ask below, I'm 33 years old, so do the math. I was in Cali my whole fucking life, basically. And then I moved to North Carolina. Now, we were talking, and we actually related it to making gains in bodybuilding, which is what makes us so special.
Right.
But, you know, here's the deal.
We don't really talk about training that much.
We never talk about training. We talk about
training.
We talk about business. We talk about relationships. We talk about current events. We don't really like go around talking about making gains. We do when we eat because we're like, dude, I'm making gains. But it's just like an aside comment. But at the end of the day, we're just fucking CEOs. You know, we care about business. And we're on video. We talk obviously about training and shit. So in California, cars are status symbols. Like I was saying, I joked around. I said, my income, I'd have to buy at least a $100,000 car in California, whereas I get along just fine in my $20,000 Ford Fusion. And, you know, as a CEO, I'm fine. I don't give a fuck. In Illinois, people don't value that. Whereas in Illinois, in the northwest suburbs, people are they're more apt to spend money on a big fucking suburban house than they are in a car.
It's an interesting dynamic, you know, because I lived in Michigan for quite a few years, and that's just like Chicago, really, culturally. And same deal with the weather. I think that has a lot to do with it, with the shitty winters. No one wants to have a super nice car, but just culturally, they're more about American cars, more about a little bit simpler of a lifestyle. But yeah, the badass house is what it comes down to. Who's got the better house?
The suburban house, and people will literally. Look, I was joking. I was driving around with someone in my neighborhood, and I said, "This is all fucking fake." Because guess what? Half the houses in our neighborhood, people can't fucking afford. And they either end up foreclosing, bankrupting on, or they barely scrape by, and they'll show a near foreclosure. It's really fucked up. I joke around and say I might be the only person in this neighborhood who can actually afford their house, spent within my means. You know, whereas in California, people will go into bankruptcy to drive a really, really fucking nice Benzo.
And the reason why we think that is, our conjecture on the situation is that in the Midwest, houses are a lot more affordable in general. In California, I mean, a little condo like mine will be in the $300,000 range.
Yeah, whereas my house is like 4 of yours.
Yeah.
Actually, my house is probably 5 of yours. And it actually costs about, I think, 10% more.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And also, again, the cars getting fucked up in the winter is the thing. So what we're getting at is that people tend to overspend on something regardless of what area they're in, except for North Carolina. North Carolina, you can have a multimillionaire living in a fucking shack because they really don't fucking care. And I respect that about the Southerners. They just don't give a fuck.
What do they spend their money on?
They spend their obviously not on dental work, but okay, so I'll have the British. Much love to the UK, but I went there. Y'all got some fucked up teeth as a whole.
It's not a priority.
Not a priority. Dude, but I mean, you know, when a girl's gonna rip up your junk, giving you, never mind. So I don't get how they're crooked. They need to get fucking braces and shit, right? Okay, so check it out. We attributed that to gains. Living within your means, also training within your means. Sure, it might look cool before you do your set to put 800 plates on the leg press, but like we saw homie doing on the chest press today, okay, doing only half a rep or doing it shitty or beyond your means isn't going to give you those gains. So just like spending within your means on your house and your car is a good idea, going within your means in the gym and making gradual increases. Now, I didn't start out in a really nice house. I started out in an apartment, and then I moved up to a nicer house. I sold it. I made some equity, moved up to a nicer house. And that's kind of what you do with weight training.
Right.
Is that you want to start at a certain level, increase your weight, use gradual increases, use why am I blanking on that? Overload, progressive overload.
Right, and then volume is a big thing that has to be regulated. I see with people who are just starting training or haven't gone into a really high volume intensive workout, they'll give up on working out as a whole because they'll get injured due to too much volume.
Yeah, and we'll go into that in another video.
Yeah, just overtraining in general. So yeah, setting your goals within what you're capable of and your capacities as they currently exist, rather than trying to set it on the standard that's not your own. Meaning, like, if if someone who just graduated college tried to live the same lifestyle as someone who's been working for 10 years and owns and runs a company, a successful business, it's not going to happen. And you might feel great when you get in a really nice car that you can't afford, but you're not going to feel so great when they take it away from you because you can't make the payment.
Exactly. So this kind of a life, I'd actually rather you guys take it as more of a life lesson.
Yeah, than
basically
a training lesson.
Than a training lesson. As two guys who I've never carried a credit card bill, he never has either. In my entire life, even when I was fucking broke, I never did it. Always live within your means. Always live within your means, or else you'll injure yourself, or even worse, you'll end up bankrupt and living in a van down by the river. Chris Farley. All right, guys. Anything to add, Sean? I really think this was a good take-home message. This won't get a lot of views, I doubt, because it's not a subject like, oh my God, Cali Muscle does a muscle up and is natural. It's the best natty bodybuilder ever.
Well, this is a life lesson, but I'll tell you what, in one-on-one real-life situations, this is real valuable information. I rented a room for a couple years after college just so that I could fucking save up money for a down payment on a house. Yeah. And if you're not willing to make sacrifices in the short run, you'll never get where you want to be in the long run. You can't be trying to have everything right here, right now. I know that's the attitude of not just this country, but it's all over the world. I've seen it. But yeah. you need to set your goals and your standards based on where you are, and then set to progress. Aim to progress. But you can't have it in one day, in one night. It's something that's going to happen over time.
Basically, everything you do in life, work up. You can't have the 10K a day CEO lifestyle when you're only worth $10 an hour. I'm Mark Lobliner, TigerFitness.com, alongside
Sean Torbati, GavorPay.com, and HPN.
Whoa, and making your money with NR and G4P, 2 great acronyms. It's not a game.
I'm just gonna tell you guys, it's not a game.
Oh, that's what's up.